In this video, we are going to take a look at UConn in the future, that is 25-26 and then 26-27. This will include looking at who they have already signed and who they are wanting to sign. But before we start, if you enjoy the content, then please consider subscribing to the channel and giving the video a like. All right, let's get into this. The players on the UConn roster in 2024-25 season have now gone home as summer workouts have ended. And the good news is nobody got injured during the summer sessions. They all appear healthy as can be. The only one, Morgan Shelley, has a balky hamstring it appears, but nothing serious. Sarah Strong got through America without sustaining any injuries, so that is all good news. In addition to this, the reports on the incoming freshmen is positive from the players and the coaches, but to be fair, that's always the way it goes. You very rarely see a coach or other players go, my God, she was just awful during training. That usually comes out a few years later when a recruit does not work out, like Amari DeBerry, where they say later on, man, she really struggled to finish practice due to conditioning issues. So if we look at recruiting in 2025-26, first of all, we need to look at the roster. So as you're aware, Paige Beckers has said that she will go to the WNBA after the 24-25 season if everything goes to plan. Caitlin Chin and Aubrey Griffin will also be leaving as they will be out of eligibility. For the 2025-26 season, it would be assumed that AZ Fudd would be returning and Caroline Descharme, but to be determined, get out your crystal ball, but that would be the plan. And then all of the now sophomores would be juniors, so that would be KK Arnold, Ashlyn Shade, Cadence Samuels, Ice Brady would be a redshirt junior, along with Jana El Alfie. Morgan Shelley, Ali Zabel, and Sarah Strong would be returning for their sophomore year. So that is currently 12 players slotted on their roster to return. And then they have already 2 commitments, which is Kalis Fisher, who is a point guard playing at IMG Academy in Florida. And then Gandhi Malou Mamel, who is originally from Ireland. I've done a full video on it. She's been brought over by a host family. The video I did, she was very raw at the time, especially in the footage if you look at it. More recent stuff I've seen on her, it seems like her game is improving as you would expect with better competition and coaching in the U.S. Gandhi is currently ranked number 68 on the ESPN Hoops Girls rankings as well. Kalis Fisher is rated number 25. Previously in the last video I did, she was 23, so she's dropped 2 spots. I don't think that really means much. I think the ratings are sort of the eye of the beholder. Now, currently, there are 2 players that they potentially could get commitments from. So one I've already mentioned. So it's Laura Sumfai, who's from Australia, but she's at IMG Academy with Kalis Fisher. She is a forward. She's 6'4", can shoot from outside, get to the basket. She just played in the Under-18 Asia Cup for Australia. It seems like she'd be a good fit for UConn. She also has interest in Duke and Stanford, and she says that she'll make her decision in the fall of 2024 in terms of where she is going. Sumfai is currently rated number 31 on the ESPN rankings. The other player that UConn has interest in for the 2025 roster is Zakiya Johnson, who's a 5'11 guard. She's ranked number 7. She played on the Under-18 USA AmeriCup team. Obviously, as a number 7 recruit, there's a lot of interest. So LSU, South Carolina, Notre Dame, Louisville, Maryland, Ohio State, and Baylor, just among the few that would like to have her playing at their school. Now, also, what I found interesting were the players that UConn was targeting for 2025 that they missed out on, which includes Sienna Betts, who wound up going to UCLA with her sister. She was pretty impressive at AmeriCup. I was struck by how easy she could finish with her left and right hand at the basket, and obviously long like her sister, but more athletic. Seems like she moves easier, so she's not quite as big and just more rounded game. Betts is currently rated number 2 on ESPN's list. The other player UConn offered a scholarship to was Dee Alexander, who is currently rated number 11 on ESPN's list. She decided to stay with Cincinnati, her hometown school. The other player that UConn missed out on was Leah Macy, who they had an offer to. She committed to Notre Dame. She's 6'3", a forward from Kentucky, much in the mold of Laura Sumfai. Similar type of game. And so that's where it ends for the 2025-26 class, as they have the commits Gandhi Malou Mamel, as well as Kalis Fisher, and then they're hoping to get Zakiya Johnson and Laura Sumfai. Now, obviously, players in 24-25 will impact how important Getting Sumfy and Johnson would be as additional recruits to their class, and that really comes down to AZ Fudd's health, Caroline Deschamps, as well as how Cadence Samuels develops, as well as obviously Patterson and Ice Brady and any big you want to mention, as well as El Alfie. All three of those, if one doesn't develop, obviously Laura Sumfy would be nice to have another big just as a backup insurance plan. Now, currently for 26-27, UConn does not have any commitments, although they do have offers out. So first off, if nobody transfers and everybody stays healthy, the 26-27 roster is currently KK Arnold, Ashlyn Shade, Cadence Samuels, Patterson, Ice Brady, and Jana El Alfie, as they're all seniors. The juniors would be Morgan Shelley, Ali Zabel, Sarah Strong, and then the sophomores would be Khalees Fisher and Gandhi Malou Mamel. So that would be 11 players, leaving 4 spots open. UConn currently has 4 official offers out. So just the other day, they offered a scholarship to JC Abi, who's a 6'1 guard from Texas. She is physically imposing for a guard. Like, she has good quickness and long, and she's like one of those physical guards in the mold of Ryan Howard or Rakia Jackson. She just looks big for a guard and obviously has skills. So South Carolina offered her a scholarship the other day as well. So interest is gathering for Abi. Not surprisingly, UConn also has scholarship offers out for the number 1 and number 2 prospects in ESPN's list in the nation for 26. So number 1 is Jersey Robinson. She is a guard, a 6-foot guard from Sierra Canyon High School in California. She reminds me a little bit of Rodriguez, that player they had an offer in for the 24 season, sort of that type of body, like a big point guard or a physical point guard. That's what she looks like to me in some of the film that I've watched. The other player is number 2 rated prospect, Olivia Vicosa. She is from New York, and she is a big at 6'4". She has good hands, can post up, use her feet well, and has a really good outlet pass. She goes to the same high school that Sue Bird and Tina Charles went to, so you would think UConn would have an inside track potentially. She's already visited UConn twice, but other schools obviously have interest as well. The usual suspects: South Carolina, Tennessee, Stanford, Notre Dame, UCLA, and everybody else as well. UConn has also offered a scholarship to number 4 rated prospect guard Sanaya Hall, who's 6 foot. As you would expect, she can take people off the dribble, but she can shoot as well, hence why she's the number 4 rated prospect. Now, the last player they have an official offer out to is Addison Bourne, who's rated number 10. She is from Missouri, and UConn has gone out on 2 occasions to watch her play. She's a 6'1 guard. From the short clip I've seen of her, it seems like she's in the mold of a Katie Lou Samuelson or a Morgan Shelley, sort of like a lanky guard type that they're looking for, that wing type player. Speaking of Morgan Shelley, supposedly UConn has interest in her high school teammate, McKenna Velichka, who is a 6'2 wing. No official offer's been made, but Gino alluded to a good softball player that UConn might have interest in, so to be determined. And to be clear, obviously in this video, I'm not saying UConn's going to land all of these players. I just want to get you familiar with the names and players that UConn is trying to bring in. As always, your feedback, your poison, it's welcome. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a good night.